Alright, godliness is gain. This message is going to change your perspective and your understanding is always going to see, okay, God bless you. Alright, let's go to the book of Philippians. Philippians chapter number 2. And the verse is 2 and 3. Philippians 2, verse 2 and 3. The Bible goes, for few ye my joy that he be like-minded, having the same love, being the same love. Sorry, let me start again. For few ye my joy that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. Let nothing be done through selfish strife or vainglory, but in lawlessness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. Now, it is so much painful that many people identify themselves with God for selfish gain. He said, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory. Those words simply means selfish gain. And it is so painful, especially in Africa, that we have identified the knowledge of God with selfish gain or with vainglory. And let me speak it because I'm a prophet and I have rights to say so. Many of the prophetic churches like ours in Africa, 75% of the people that attend the services, go and ask them, why are you at church? They will tell you, because I am believing today the man of God is going to locate me and speak about my marriage. I'm believing today the man of God will locate me and speak about my job. So it's all about what I can get. It is selfish gain that has driven the church in Africa. Trust me. Many people will even ask them the meaning of a simple scripture. These are people walking close to a man of God. These are people serving with the man of God. Ask them a simple meaning of a simple scripture. They cannot explain it. All I know is I receive double. I got a number. I learn. That is all they will tell you. They will know all the statements of receiving. There is nothing wrong with that. But if that is a primary reason why I want to know God, then I have deceived myself. Stay with me. Knowing God is not a new ticket. Knowing God is not a new ticket. How many of you have been in boarding schools? There is a card they give you is for a meal ticket. When you go in the morning, it's so nice. You never went to boarding school or all. You have a card where the meals are eaten: breakfast, lunch, and supper. So when you enter in the kitchen, they give you breakfast. They take breakfast. So you can't come back and get the breakfast for the second time. They will catch you. They will say, we take it already. I've eaten. Knowing God is not a meal ticket. You can have a meal without God. That sounds offensive. Knowing God is not a meal ticket, because you can have the meal ticket without knowing God. Some people will tell you the reason I am with God now is I'm believing God for a private jet. You can have a private jet without knowing God. The richest man in Africa is in Nigeria. The man is Muslim. Is not even Christian, yet he is the richest man. One can be rich without the knowledge of God. So we cannot bring down the knowledge of God to material acquisition. It is so sad in our time and in our churches, we measure godliness with material acquisition. The reason why you are suffering is because God is not in your life. My sister, you need to change gears the way you pray. The reason why you are not married is because you don't pray. We measure godliness with what a person has. Somebody can be more godly and yet they are single. They are more godly than a married person. Somebody said, I can never go to a church where a pastor is a single man. Is it single that prophesy? How many people are married and they don't prophesy? Is it single that preaches well? How many people are married and they don't preach well? Are you getting it? That's what we measure with godliness. Someone said, the way you are a prophet, you will see how you will grow in ministry when you have 45 years. Is it age? Stay with me. We don't measure godliness with material acquisition. The gospel today has been reduced to that level. There is nothing wrong with you going to church believing God for healing. But if that is a primary reason you are going to church, you have deprived yourself of the knowledge of God. The primary reason I go to church, the primary reason I want to know God is for God. I know God for God, not what He can give me. Because I feel realized today, even when we are preaching, this is how we preach. Come to Jesus and you'll be married. Come to Jesus, He will heal you. Come to Jesus, you will get a house. This is why we have people coming to Jesus on the temple basis. The pastor said, come to Jesus and I'll be married. So they will come to church, they'll begin to pray. I'll get married, I'll get married. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, no marriage is coming. They begin to retreat, they begin to go back. Sister, why don't we see you at church? I'm busy. No, because what they were promised was not granted. I come to God for God. I come to Jesus for my salvation of my soul and my spirit. Are you getting me? Look at the book of 1 Timothy. Stay with me quickly. Look at the book of 1 Timothy that got 2 years after that. 1 Timothy chapter number 6 and the verse is 5 to 6. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and the verse is 5 to 6. Is anyone there? Okay, before me? Quickly. Can I have somebody before?
1 Timothy 6 verses of 5. Parents disputed of men of corrupt mind and dispute of the truth.
He said, these are perverse. They are disputing who have corrupt mind. Paul is clarifying certain people to his son. So this kind of people, they have corrupt mind. They are destitute of the truth, meaning they have no truth. They have a corrupt mind. They have no truth. Let's go.
Supposing that gain is godliness.
They suppose that having material acquisition is godliness. Supposing that gain is godliness.
From such withdraw thyself.
He said, from such people withdraw thyself. But agreed. Those people who are destitute of truth, they have a corrupt mind. He says, such, withdraw yourself. When they say, how are you, don't answer. Just shake your head and move on. Who are these destitute of the truth? They suppose that gain is godliness. The reason why God is blessing you is because you are more holy. Haven't you heard the story of the poor man and the rich man? And the man was rich, yet he was a destitute of truth. And when he died, he went to hell. And the man was poor, yet with the knowledge of God, he entered the presence of God. He says, stay away from everybody who promises you materialism as an exchange for the knowledge of God. Stay away from them. Withdraw yourself. They are destitute of truth. They have a corrupt mind. I detest a man that always thinks material wealth is godliness. Let me show what Paul is saying. Paul is simply saying godliness is gain. I didn't get that part. What Paul is saying is that gain is not godliness, but godliness is gain. I'll say it slowly. He's saying gain is not godliness. That you have a car does not mean you are godly. That you have a mansion does not mean you are godly. So he said, gain is not godliness, but godliness is gain. When I have godliness, I have all. You get that? Let's look at what Paul said. I'm so happy that at KEC we are raising men and women who looks at godliness as gain, not gain as godliness. I am so excited. That's why we are putting up a prophetic class that is coming in a few months' time. Because we want to balance up this thing that the prophetic move has brought on a scene. I have seen people living a man of God who is a good teacher of the word, and they go and associate themselves with a man of God who prophesy from 8 p.m. to 6 in the morning. When we have an overnight service, when I see your face, I prophesy. When just bring your face. So everybody coming from an overnight, they are just bringing their face. When I see your face, I prophesy. So the man of God grab the microphone from 8 p.m. He's prophesying from 8 p.m. until 6 o'clock, and you are released back home. You are going back home empty. Now look at what Paul said in the book of Philippians 3. Philippians 3. Paul said in verse 7, and there, Philippians 3 verse 7. But what things were gained to me? Paul is saying there were things that were gained to me, but what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Christ. As the scripture, the woman of God was reading. I had gain. Remember, Paul was a director of a company that was making trade. He inherited it from his father. So the man was just not an empty guy preaching the gospel. The man was loaded. He was the director of a company. But he's saying the things that were gained to me, Paul was a Jew. It was an advantage. The things which were gained for me, Paul was an apostle. It was for his advantage. The things which were gained for me, Paul was a lawyer for his advantage. He said, all these things that looks like they are my advantage, they are gain. I counted them in loss for Christ. I counted them loss for Christ. So it's so painful today that in the house of God, it is those driving big cars. When they come out with one hand in the pocket, everybody's gaze moves away and it creates a way for them. Paul is saying all those things I had, I counted them loss for Christ. Yea, doubtless that I count all things but loss for the excellence of the knowledge of God. He said, I have traded material acquisition with the knowledge of God. I have traded all that I had in an exchange that I may have the knowledge of Christ. So when he said I